GM is one of the companies that never stops surprising us with its innovation and the incredible models they release year after year. This company is the largest of the big three American corporations, and this is why it's one of the ones that brings the most surprises every year. We saw that with the Chevy Silverado EV, Hummer EV, and some other models in recent times. We can tell you that for 2025, there are even more surprises prepared by GM. So stay with us while we learn how the GM CEO reveals 4 new models for 2025 and has other automakers crapping in their pants. Number 4. GMC Cyclone. Let's start with one of the greatest surprises for 2025, and this is honestly one of the most legendary models in GM's history. We're talking here about the GMC Cyclone. The Cyclone was a limited production run truck that was produced for only one model year. This model debuted for the 1991 model year and produced almost 3,000 units. The limited production run has made this model a real gem in the car community, mainly because of its rarity and also because of its performance. The Cyclone was a proper street performer version of the S10. It was powered by a 4.3-liter V6 engine paired with a turbocharger, producing an immense amount of power. But we're not here about the old truck. We're here to tell you about the revival of this nameplate for the 2025 model year. That's right, for 2025, the Cyclone is coming back for good. This new Cyclone model is expected to be a competitor of the Ford Maverick. This means that this will be a compact pickup truck based on a compact car platform. This new truck is expected to receive the 2.7-liter L3B engine used in the Chevy Colorado, but in this application, the engine will be slightly detuned. Official power numbers are unknown. However, it's discussed that this model will produce up to 270 HP and 310 pound-feet of torque. And we can tell you that this will be more than enough to power this model and make it a true street racer. The new Cyclone is expected to be a great homage to the original truck, implementing the sport wheels, stiffer suspension, and also low ground clearance that will accentuate its sportiness. Overall, the GMC Cyclone is expected to become a real hit when it hits the market, and we really can't wait for this truck. When it comes to its official release date, things are not yet known, but it's discussed that this model will be introduced by the end of 2024, and this vehicle will completely change the truck world. Number 3. Chevy Impala. Now, let's talk about another legendary Chevy model, which is the Chevy Impala. The Chevy Impala has been with us for many decades, and in recent years, GM decided to cut the production of this model and replace it with something new. However, things didn't play out as expected, and buyers simply did not buy these crossover SUVs. So what GM is trying to do is to reintroduce this legendary model back to the market. This new model will keep the same proportions of the Impala that we all know and love, but this time, this model will target more upscale customers. In other words, Chevy will put the Impala on the same level as the Cadillac CT6. That's right, the Chevy Impala is expected to get all of the goodies that the CT6 has and more. The current CT6 is sold only in China, but Chevy will bring this model back to the US through the Chevy Impala. So the Impala will get the same platform as this model, which is dubbed the Omega platform. This is a very modern rear-wheel drive platform that is extremely advanced and will allow the implementation of many new technologies, such as hybridization and electrification. When it comes to the Impala, we can expect that this model will receive a turbocharged engine. It's not clear yet which engine it will be, but it's expected that this engine will be the all-new 2.5-liter LK0 Turbo Inline 4. For those who don't know, this engine is based on the 2.7-liter used in the Silverado and Colorado, but for this application, this engine will be downsized to 2.5 liters. This engine, although small, makes some serious power, specifically up to 328 horsepower and 326 pound-feet of torque. This engine is expected to get paired with an 8-speed automatic and will have an acceleration from 0 to 60 in less than 6 seconds. Overall, we cannot wait for the new Chevy Impala to get released. This model is expected to be unveiled by the end of 2024 at some of the auto shows across the country. Number 2. GMC Sierra EV. Now, let's discuss another really cool model that will soon hit the market, and this is the GMC Sierra EV Denali Edition 1. This model will be the first EV model ever produced by GMC. The new Sierra EV is expected to be based on the Chevy Silverado EV, sharing much of its components and features. But this truck is also expected to receive some other goodies in the process. This model will get new styling that will differentiate itself from the regular GMC Sierra. As you're probably familiar with the Chevy Silverado EV, there's no truck bed separation, and this will also be the case with the Sierra EV as well. In the front, you will not have a grille, but instead, there will be a frunk, and in the front, there will be a giant GMC logo. When it comes to power, this model is expected to create up to 754 HP and 785 pound-feet of torque, and acceleration from 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. What's also good about the Sierra EV is the fact that this model is expected to tow up to 10,000 pounds, which is pretty decent for an EV. As you probably know, EVs are not particularly good for towing because of battery drain, so this is somewhat expected. What's also interesting is the fact that this new model will feature a brand new dash on the inside with a huge portrait-style screen in the front that was inspired by Ford. There will also be a big driver's display showing all the essentials for the driver. Overall, the GMC Sierra EV will implement a ton of tech, and this tech will cost you a good penny. According to GMC, it will start somewhere close to $70,000, but this will be the base version. The more equipped models are expected to start at around $100,000. With dealer fees and other fees, the pricing of these models could go up to $120,000. Overall, these models are not expected to sell in extremely high numbers. They'll only be targeted to people who love EVs and believe in a green future. So the sales of the Sierra will keep flowing in the same manner as previously, and we will not see much difference there. However, since the model is so advanced, we can expect that some of the tech of the Sierra EV will come to the standard Sierra in the following model year, such as the new futuristic dash and the big screens that will use the latest and greatest GM software. Overall, we cannot wait for this new model to get released to the market. With an expected range of 440 miles, it'll definitely make some people consider buying it. Number 1. Chevy El Camino. Another legendary model that is expected to make a big comeback is the Chevy El Camino. For those who don't know, the El Camino is a true legend in the car community. Based on the same platform as the Impala, it offered a bridge between practicality and comfortable driving. Since this model was built on a car platform, you didn't have the same truck experience, which is annoying if you're used to driving a car. Trucks have too much body roll and are not good handling vehicles overall. So the new Chevy El Camino is expected to get the same treatment. This model is expected to be based on the new Impala, but this time, this model will get a truck bed. To put things into perspective, the El Camino will get the front styling of the Impala, but the rear end will look totally different. This model will have a truck bed that will be good enough for storing groceries or other items. Perfect vehicles for small tasks. When it comes to engines, we can expect a 2.5-liter inline-4 turbo that will produce decent power. The El Camino is also discussed to be one of the first 2025 GM models that will come with a hybrid powertrain. This will be a mild hybrid that will make the El Camino one of the best performers when it comes to fuel economy. The numbers that we can expect out of the new El Camino range between 30 and 35 miles per gallon combined. With this model, you will basically forget about waiting at the gas station to get it filled up. Also, this model, just like the old El Camino, is expected to be dirt cheap, starting as low as $25,000. For a full-size vehicle, this is basically nothing these days. The introduction date of this model is still unknown, but it is discussed that this model will be released in parallel with the regular Impala once it hits the market, which will be before 2025. This model is expected to be welcomed at some of the auto shows across the country, and we just cannot wait to tell you more about it once it gets officially released.